again, the fact that you played on so many tours, just your perspective on tour life, like, what you liked and didn't like, and to any musicians that necessarily might not have gone on tour yet, and what just any advice you might have for that.
Oh, right, going on tour. I mean, personally, I'm very opinionated about this shit, and
Yeah, let's hear it.
I would say, young people, you have a great opportunity when it comes to touring because, in general, you're going to be playing in venues where there's no smoking. You might take that for granted, but when I was young, the gig was where people went to just like be bad. It's like even motherfuckers that didn't smoke would be like,
Yeah,
I'm definitely smoking tonight,
that's
and
so
so like
funny.
the whole goddamn room would be like that. Would be like cancer. So you're already starting out with, in general, from what I can tell, people aren't smoking, so you can get up there and breathe clean air.
Mm,
And personally, I think people are best off when they start young and they're like, even it, because when I was young, I was real nervous and real like I'm saying in this interview, I'd be real skeptical of myself and real panicky about my shit and feel bad about myself. And sometimes I'd use alcohol to try to like get myself to just relax. And I did that for a while. Then I said, man, that's a crutch. I really, I literally, I can't do that. It's shit's gonna kill me.
hmm
So I would say whatever crutches you can identify, try to get off the crutch
mm, yeah,
and try to be healthy as a young person. Invest in yourself. Like imagine that your body has all the different little hormones and chemicals and things that it needs to get into the state that you need it to be in.
yeah,
It's just figuring out, how to live for you that gets you into a zone where you're immersed in the music, and you can do it in a way that's healthy and sustainable and hopefully grows. Like
sure.
it has a compounding effect. So that would be, when it comes to touring, stay healthy. I do think that sometimes with the smartphones, that people are very much in this part of their body. They're in the upper part of their body, and they're in this part of their mind. We are in that part of our mind, which I don't know what it is with a smartphone, but it's like watching TV. So I'd say like figure out a way of getting your whole being engaged in something. Like I don't know what it is. Everyone's different. Cycling or it's running or it's walking or it's something, yoga or something. Get your body engaged. Get out of this like thing with your hands. Like get your legs and get your whole body involved in
Mm,
something as often as you can. Try to eat well and also like remember your family. Like sometimes when you're young, you go on tour, like you get off on some trip, like you think you're like super special and you think you're super cool and you think you've succeeded and like you come up with some stupid narrative, and it's like you get kind of like you could get into onto an ego trip. And
sure.
what I would say is that shit does not pay off. Don't go in for the ego trips. Like if you have a girlfriend and you're on tour, don't fuck around in your girlfriend. Okay? And don't take advantage of people sexually or because they're looking at you and they're fucking starstruck. Don't take advantage of people. Be cool. Is insofar as that is you have to interpret what I mean by be cool, but it's like be cool.
Yeah,
Like maintain some fucking decorum. And
yeah.
and and you know what I mean? Like I understand the 1960s and all that bullshit, and like I'm just saying like that shit's gone, and like
Mm,
think about the world that you want to create.
yeah,
And maybe it is totally wild, and maybe that's fine, but I feel like there's a lot of manipulation that goes on there. So when it comes to that, don't hurt people insofar as you can. And what else on tour? I don't know, man. I think the rest is just things like when the tour ends, if you don't have a bunch of mailbox money, what are you going to do? So get a strategy for that.
mm,
Like think about music either in a more diversified way than just a touring. Not I don't want to say just a touring musician. I don't mean that to sound demeaning, but try to like outfit your life to where the touring is a part of it, and then there's a bit of continuity when you're not touring financially.
yeah.
Basically, like look, I'll just be more blunt. There's a way in which like touring can lead to an extension of adolescence.
Very interesting.
And like, don't take that pill.
Hmm
Like, sober up and like, just be a professional about the shit. I believe me, I'm not preaching. I'm saying this to myself. It's like,
Yeah.
be a professional and like sober up and tour in a way that's sustainable,
Mm.
and where you actually get better every night. And
Sure.
where you're listening, you could change your monitor mix a little bit every night to where you focus on different musicians
Mm,
from wherever you are.
yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that necessarily for singers because their job is so incredibly well, it's central to a lot of bands is
Yeah.
singing. So don't fuck with don't singers, you're a different category. But if you're a bass player, you're a guitar player, you're a keyboard player, drummer, you guys can fuck around with your mix. Like do a keyboard heavy mix one night, guitar heavy mix, then get all up into the bass. Just see if you can take a journey through the band and then do
Mm,
different things with panning so that you're listening differently night after night. That might help to keep the band feeling good
yeah.
because I think the way bands are going to feel good over time is going to have a lot to do with the quality of listening.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's super, super interesting, man. I appreciate you sharing all that